All right, so as a lot of you know, I have a dumpster business here, and right now we're in the backup truck because today is an appliance pickup day. We have so many that we're picking up that I actually just grabbed one of the dumpsters that's gonna go out later today, and I'm picking them up with this. So the funny thing is, we get calls for appliances all the time, and we do it two ways. We either charge $10 if you have the dumpster and put it towards the back of the dumpster so we can pull it out, because obviously we need to take that somewhere other than the landfill. Otherwise, we charge $25 to just come and pick up the appliance. But what's crazy is sometimes we pick up really nice appliances. Take a look at this. So I didn't toss this one into the dumpster. As you can see, I just kind of sat it back here. And the only imperfections I can see in this are, there's a little ding here. And maybe this is like some kind of, let's open this up and see. Is that? Okay, so they've got some kind of like stain or froth that's stuck maybe between this two-pane glass. But I mean, it's a nice mini fridge. So believe it or not, there are people who just don't care and they get rid of things, so they don't try to like resell them. The place I picked this up from, I mean, $1 million house, I mean, or more. I don't know, I didn't look it up, but it is in a beautiful neighborhood. It is the house at the end of the cul-de-sac, that kind of setup. So we're gonna go see if this works before I just kind of toss into the dumpster, because I'll show you the dumpster here. All right, so I just started this morning, so we picked up the first appliance. I still have a refrigerator to go get and another stove from somewhere else before we kind of take this to our scrap pile. But like that one right there, that one's pretty clapped. I wasn't going to try to save it, and it's likely broken because I was told they were replacing it. This one, on the other hand, like I said, came from, you know, a very, what I would say, wealthy home. And the funny thing is, I picked up an appliance there before while they were like redoing their kitchen, and I kid you not, it was the heaviest dishwasher I have ever picked up in my life. And dishwashers are typically pretty light because of the plastic base in the back, and the only thing that's heavy in the front is the door. But that thing broke my back, and I can deadlift like 475, and this made me look like a chump because I'm a small guy, so I'm wrapping my arms around the thing, trying to get it up, and it was a disaster. But I did get it up. I actually used straps to get it in because it was just so cumbersome. But other than that, we're gonna plug this in and see if we can get that thing working, because otherwise, I think it's time for Rolling Operations to start a resale shop. If you guys follow the channel, you already know that I have that huge left side of the shop that's rented out to a tenant. Well, I just got news that that company is moving. So very soon I might have a warehouse worthy space. I mean, it's an old airplane hangar, so I could essentially turn it into like a weekends only resale shop. And with all the junk removal we're doing, I think that's kind of the direction I want to go. All right, let's go to the garage and grab a dolly. That thing's heavy enough that I don't want to dent it up. So I've kind of been testing it. What I just realized here is there was a brand new baby crib that was here from a junk removal job we did. This is actually a desk that came out of my office because I was in that corporate lifestyle, and I brought it out here because, well, I wanted to take it to the shop. Do most of my paperwork on the go and on my phone. That it's a beautiful desk that was passed down to me, so I just cannot get rid of it, but I need to figure something out. But you'll notice I just kind of have a little bit of junk in here, and it's unfortunate. I don't like that to be at my personal house. I want to move some of this to my shop where we can start doing the resale. This cooler, these are just things that have been pulled out of junk removal jobs where I'm like, well, these are perfectly unopened things. This was unused. I mean, just little things. Most of the stuff has already been sold. So I'm starting to find it's kind of a profitable thing to do. I mean, just a little bit of side cash, which honestly, if it gets out of control, I might have to claim it. All right. And like I said, I really might have to start claiming stuff like this because I know guys who do resale, like just on Facebook Marketplace or eBay and whatnot, and they do claim all their income. And I just now really started reselling. As long as I've had a dumpster business, I've never really taken things from the dumpster and reused them or resold them. I just kind of found it to be like a dirty thing. But with the junk removal, when the stuff's not getting tossed in the dumpster and I can actually see it, it kind of changes the way I think about it. And you know, some of the junk removal we do is in beautiful areas. It's not in like just the, you know, clapped out trailer parks or, you know, nasty garages or stuff like, there are usable stuff that people are just throwing away. So why not make a warehouse of the good stuff? Everything else goes in the dumpster, and you got to learn to let go. If that stuff doesn't sell quickly, and I mean quickly because it's about just moving the product as fast as possible, since you got it for free anyway, you need to sell it or get rid of it. So I think if I do this model that I'm thinking in my head, what I'll do is once a product has been listed and the prices drop down and nobody is yet to buy it, even at a bottom price, it just goes back into a dumpster. And I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to do, because I don't want to just build up a bunch of inventory I don't need and then I'm the one ordering dumpsters to clean out my junk. And that's why I want to separate the junk that's in my house from the junk at the shop that can be resold. Got to think like a business person and not like a hoarder. All right, we got it. All right, let's see what we got here. Look at that. Holy cow. Okay. Well, it functions. Power, light. Oh wait, light? Oh, it does have a light. All right, and then temperature. Let's get this down pretty low. Bear with me. And we'll come back here in a little bit and see if it's actually working. I mean, it looks like it was hardly ever used. I have a feeling this was part of their remodel from the dishwasher I picked up before. And maybe they finished using this and now they're just getting rid of it. And when I say that dishwasher I dropped was incredibly heavy, it was insane. And I was actually kind of bummed because it was the first time I actually thought about reselling an appliance, because it was spotless, super durable, and I kind of thought to myself, this probably works. And then I dropped it on the ground as I tried to pick it up and put a huge dent in it. And since it was stainless, it's kind of an eyesore then, so it went straight into a dumpster. I'll probably go get a thermometer too to see if this number is actually accurate once it's going down, because that's the current temperature, and then I believe that is the temperature I just set it to. We don't want it to start to freeze, so let's see what actually happens with this. In the meantime, let's see if we can figure out how much this thing costs. So, Frigidaire locking mini fridge. Look at that. Okay, so I'm not seeing super expensive ones. Oh, wait a second. That's the one right there. Hang on. Loading slow, but okay, we don't have a Best Buy near us anymore, so we'll have to confirm it, but that's definitely it. There it is, because that has the that has the lock there at the bottom, if you can see it. That's exactly what it is. And then that many shelves. Okay, and then it has those same buttons. Okay, everybody. We just, we roughly just picked up a $500 fridge, I think. So let's see. Look at that. $429 is how much it cost. It used to cost $799. Oh, I really hope this thing works. That would be pretty cool. So the crazy thing about this model that I'm working on in terms of at least picking up appliances, I've saw recently, which I didn't even really know was a thing, which kind of blows my mind. I didn't pay attention. I need to be on TikTok more. But flipping couches is a thing, which I didn't know. And some dudes make thousands doing it. Nothing I've ever looked into or done myself. But apparently it's a thing. I don't know if it's blown up, just a social gimmick where guys are like, make millions flipping couches. And I'm not telling you you're going to make millions flipping appliances. But it's something I deal with all the time already in my business, so why not kind of dabble in it? And I don't want to just turn around and list this thing on Facebook Marketplace for $500. First, we're going to clean it. Second, we're going to make sure it works so we're not giving away a faulty, appliance, and then I have somebody, come at me all mad. And we're definitely not going to list it for $500 because obviously it is used. But we might list it at $200 and see what happens. And I got paid to pick it up because I drove over there. That's part of my regular activities as a business owner, is I'm picking up appliances and typically scrapping them or taking them to recycling centers. But if I can take the nice ones and resell them as part of my plan, my grand scheme of building a resale shop, we might be onto something. And that could just be one little niche of it. Repurposed appliances. I don't know. Let's see if this thing works at all. I know I'm rambling. I'm kind of excited. I expected this thing to be like $150 new, not nearly $500. The redneck in me really wishes I had a key for this, because I could see somebody actually wanting to turn this into like an ammo safe or like a transparent gun safe. You know, it's not super protective, but at least it has a lock on it to keep, you know, most kids out. But come on, number, please go down. In the meantime, we're gonna go take the backup truck, which is this one, and this dumpster. I'm gonna go drop it off at a place I store it. That way I can go load up a larger dumpster and get it dropped off for the day, because despite the cold, despite, you know, February and March being slower months, it's been crazy, and it has me a little nervous because I definitely need to buy more inventory to keep up with the demand. But it's a good problem, so it's just something I have to solve. But we're gonna get another one dropped. We'll come back, check on that appliance, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll pick something else. I'm kind of focused on this whole flipping things that come to me rather than me going to the things that flip. Facebook Marketplace is an amazing thing. It's like having a garage sale 24/7. So we're gonna play with this a little bit. Gotta do what you gotta do. Whoops. She fit. On to the next thing. A lot of you will ask why I didn't just jackknife it in. Well, what happens is a lot of these rollers will build up with salt and everything since we just got through winter, and well, they basically will start to drag a little bit. So I always try to get my trailer and truck as straight as possible. That one, actually, the rollers weren't half bad, so I was able to actually scoot it in a little bit jackknifed because I still had to get out. As you saw, I was practically up against the neighboring property across the street, so that was the only way to drop it. They really wanted it in the driveway. I don't blame them because that's a very narrow street, so they didn't want to get calls or complaints about it. But on to the next thing. I almost forgot to point out, take a look, another appliance with the cord still attached. So cool thing is, I rolled up, and you always, when you're doing a dumpster rental, you see what's going in the dumpster. They had a bunch of stuff piled outside, and I was like, hey guys, look, appliances can't go in the dumpster unless you do it this way, put it to the back so I can pull it out. So I said, but if you help me toss it in the truck after I drop it, it's only $10. And honestly, in this case, I just did it for free because there's two dudes. I barely had to touch it, and it's going straight into a scrap dumpster. So we just picked up another appliance and didn't do any work. This one obviously is not getting flipped. It's going straight into the scrap dumpster, but money later for scrap, copper, and shred. And then follow that up. We'll see if that other appliance works. I really hope it does. All right, let's take a look here. What we got? Oh, here we go. Okay, it is definitely cold. You know, it's kind of hard to tell at first because it's like 40 something degrees right now, but it is definitely colder in here than it is outside. That is awesome. Now we better list it. All right, this day just keeps getting more and more interesting. So if you don't know anything about the dumpster business, a lot of companies work with what we would call a third-party broker. The third-party broker calls, and I'm not gonna use their name, and they say, I need a dumpster for this location, but don't call the company. We're dealing with them. We're using your service instead so we can get you some business. And of course, what's really happening is they spend a lot on advertising dumpsters, but they have no inventory. And so they're just acting as a middleman. So I'll charge $400 for a dumpster and they'll charge $600. And then I show up and somebody says, wow, that dumpster is really expensive. And it's not, and I kind of have to, you know, explain to them, no, you're using a different service. They called us to use our dumpsters. They go, okay. Well, the funny thing is the place I'm dropping off now is actually a fast food chain that is so angry with their third-party service that they have broken contract. They're being sued for it, and they don't even care. They just want a dumpster service to actually provide them what is promised. So we're coming in, we're probably gonna save them a ton of money because they're not going through a third-party company. And the best part is, this isn't gonna be just for one place. They just need this dumpster right now. But it sounds like in the medium, or we're the mediator before they actually get a new dumpster service at their company, but they need 4 of them. And we're gonna bring the first one to them right now. Talk about the best advertising location ever. Right in front of a massive restaurant on the busiest road and busiest intersection in town. I love it. These are the ones I enjoy the most. This has been a whirlwind of a day. This is again the busiest week and one of the slowest months for me, which tells me my marketing is really working, and I do love that. But it's also kind of getting me a little scatterbrained. Take a look at this. I am the luckiest man alive. I just drove 1.5 miles and my remote sat right here. So I can't brag about these airbag assist enough. This came on the truck, so I know nothing about them other than the fact that inside of the truck I have something that I can adjust. The air ride like assist suspension on this is incredible. The fact that this thing is still sitting here after driving back to my house and parking the truck, I would have been so mad if this would have disappeared. It would have probably ruined my whole day, despite the fact that it was one of the best days. I think we dropped off a total of 8 dumpsters today. We picked up like 3 or 4, got them emptied. We did appliance pickups. We did a bag drop off. I've got that refrigerator in there that we're going to list tonight and resell. I'll update you guys in the comments on what happens, so kind of stay tuned. But nuts. It's been great. Keep grinding, everybody. I'm calling it for the day. Hope you have a good rest of your day. But let me know in the comments, resale shop worth it? Should I keep it just internal, or should I blow it up and actually make like a weekends only out at my shop? You can go through my videos and see my other shop and just imagine about double what I'm utilizing now available once my tenants move out that I'm renting to. So we'll see. Catch you next time.